Hey guys, and welcome to the school station. Today's video is going to be about place number and estimating. This is from the Edexcel GCSE Maths 9 to 1 paper from the unit number. Today's video is actually going to be the second part of the series of place number and estimating. So there are two main things we can do with estimating. The number one thing we can do is to actually use estimating to check our answers. So if you're given a question in the exam and you want to just check if you've done it correctly, if it's a non-calculator paper, then you can actually use estimating to check your answers, which I've actually done a video of already, so definitely go and check it out. Link will be in the description box below. And part two is actually to estimate square roots and square numbers. So basically that part of the video is actually about how to estimate square roots and square numbers. For example, if you are actually told to do square root of 5 and 5 is not a square number, how would you actually estimate the square root of 5? So today I'm actually going to be showing you guys how to do part 2 of this video, and if you want to see how to do part 1, again, link will be in the description box below, because that is more of an insight in estimating, so definitely go and check it out before watching this video. But today I'm going to be estimating square roots and square numbers, so let's just get right into the video. So first of all, I'm going to be starting off with an example. So we're actually asked over here to estimate the value of square root of 5, square root of 6, and square root of 7. So obviously the way I know that this is square root is because it doesn't have any number in it. So if it had a little 3 next to it, then it would have been square root of 3. But if there is no number, then it actually is square root. Or if there is a little 2, then it is a square root. So since there is no number, we know that it is square root. So we're asked to estimate the value of square root of 5, square root of 6, and square root of 7, and we have to round each estimate to 1 decimal point. So I want you guys to actually pause this video and try to see if you can find a way of actually estimating the value of these numbers, and then I'll show you guys how to do it. Alright guys, so I hope you guys have paused this video and tried to actually find a way of actually estimating the value of these numbers. So now I'm going to show you guys an estimation of what I thought was suitable. So estimation, you have to remember, there is not really any real answer, because estimating is kind of like guessing but using the numbers that you have provided with, so there's not really any specific answer. So first of all, what I did was I actually kind of started by thinking, what is the square root of, we know that there is square root of 5, which is not a square number, but what is a square root number before 5, and what is a square number after 5? So if we really think about it, we should know that the square root of 5 we don't know, but we know the square root of 4 is actually 2, because 4 is a square number. So what you want to do is you actually want to write down the square root of the numbers that are actually squared, that are actually square numbers. So for example, as I said, square root of 5, the square number before that is 4, so you have to do square root of 4, which is 2, and then you have to think of the square number after square root of 5, which is 9. So square root of 9 is actually 3, and as you guys can see, 2 and 3 are whole numbers, so this means that they're both square numbers. And what we have to do is we just have to kind of fit these numbers in between this timeline, because we have to actually kind of estimate between 2 and 3 where these numbers go. So square root of 5, you guys can see, is actually more closer to 4 rather than 9. So I actually estimated 2.2. Again, your one doesn't have to be exactly 2.2, because estimation is what you think is closest to. So your one can be 2.3, your one can be 2.1. It really depends on what you thought. But for me, square root of 5 I thought is equals to 2.2. So you basically just have to write that down. And then I went to square root of 6. And again, I feel like square root of 6 is more closer to is actually kind of more in the middle, to be honest. So I actually estimated 2.4 because I thought it was just a little bit closer to square root of 4. And then I went to square root of 7, and I thought that obviously square root of 7 is more closer to 9 than 4. So I just estimated 2.6. And after I got my estimations, I actually checked my answers with a calculator. Obviously, a non-calculator paper, you're not going to be able to do this. But if you want to see if your estimations are near or if they could be correct, you can just check with a calculator calculator, and here were the answers. So square root of 5 is actually 2.236067977, and as you guys can see, if we do round this to one decimal point, it would be 2.2. Again, if you did get 2.1, you would still probably get a mark for it because there is a range of numbers you can estimate. And for square root of 6, I actually estimated 2.4, and the calculator answer was 2.449489743, and that's basically the answer. And again, if you round this to one decimal point, is 2.4, and square root of 7 is actually, the calculator answer is 2.645751311, and the answer is actually 2.6, and I estimated 2.6, and again, if you round this to one decimal point, it would be 2.6. So that's basically how you would check your answers. You would just see if they're close to the real answer, and you should know that there is a range of estimations. So even if you didn't get exactly 2.6, it's still fine. Even if you got 2.5, you probably still get a mark for it. So now that we've actually went through about how to estimate the value of doing the square root of numbers that are actually not square numbers, now we can actually estimate what is actually, like, for example, 9.8 squared. So in this question, we actually asked to estimate to the nearest whole number. So the first part A is actually 9.8 squared, and part B is 8.3 squared. So what we want to do is we actually want to, again, pause this video and try these questions out, because 9.8 squared is not, obviously, we should know that we should follow kind of the same process as last time. So pause this video and try to answer this question, and then go on and see the answer. Alright guys, so I hope you guys have tried this question out, and here is the answer. As you guys can see, I actually estimated, first of all, that 9.8 squared, I actually estimated 96, because what I did was I actually thought that 9 squared is 81 and 10 squared is 100. So I thought that 9.8 squared is definitely more nearer to 100. So I estimated 96, and when I checked with the calculator, it was 96.04. So that was basically really close to the real answer. And then for part B, I actually thought that 8 squared is 64 and 9 squared is 81. So I thought that 8.3 squared is definitely closer to 8 than 9. So therefore, I actually went on and I actually estimated 68, since 64 and 68 are not that far apart. And the real answer was 68.89. And even if you guys can see over here, if we actually round this, it would actually be 69, but it would be rounded up to 69, but I would still get a mark for this because it would still be in that range. So estimation doesn't really have to be, and there is not really any exact answer as long as it's near to the correct answer. So there you guys have it. This is my video about how to actually estimate how to actually estimate the square roots and the square numbers. So just to go as an overview of what we have learned today, we actually learned how to estimate the square root of a number. So for example, if you have 5 and you want to do the square root of 5, you just have to look at square root of 4 and square root of 9, and then you kind of just work from there and see if 5 is closer to 4 or 9. And then we also learned how to estimate the answer for squaring a decimal number. So for example, again, we looked at 9.8 squared, and we just again kind of saw 9 squared is 81 and then 10 squared is 100. So we actually kind of gathered from there which it is closest to. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope that this has helped you. Definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more free science and maths lessons from the school station. Bye guys!